But now he's claiming that, and he has 17 palaces, maybe not one of the ones he's ever lived in. The point is that, there's no evidence. No one seems to have been injured. And yet he's using that as a pretext to stop negotiating, when if that was a pretext to stop negotiating, Ukraine should never have gotten involved, because they're getting bombarded constantly by the person they're trying to make peace with.
Now, Volodymyr Zelensky has denied claims of a Ukrainian attack on Vladimir Putin's state residence in the Novgorod region overnight. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said 91 Ukrainian drones were destroyed, and that this would mean a revision of Russia's negotiating position in any peace deal. It comes one day after Volodymyr Zelensky met with Donald Trump to discuss the deal.
You know who told me about it? President Putin told me about it. Early in the morning, he said he was attacked. It's no good, because we're talking about, it's a delicate period of time.
Well, let's welcome Diane Francis, editor-at-large of the National Post and an expert on the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Diane, a warm welcome to you. What have Russian state TV channels, state broadcasters, authorities been reporting about the attack they say took place on one of Vladimir Putin's residences?
Well, first of all, these are games. He's now using this, it seems, the attack on a house to revise and rethink his position on the talks to stop the war. Never mind the fact that thousands of Ukrainian homes are being attacked by Russian drones and ballistic missiles daily, and have done for years. So the whole thing, I think, is made up. They've provided no evidence. Also, he has 17 residences. Is this a residence? What is this? Is this an office space? We don't know. There's no evidence. And, I would hope that Trump consulted the Pentagon to find out if there was evidence of such an attack before he expressed his sympathy, and then used the non-evidentiary claim, the fabrication, if you please, to attack Zelensky for not negotiating in faith. I mean, these are games. This is the game that Putin plays, and he's wrapping Trump around his finger thus far.
We know that Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump spoke on the phone. He mentioned it there. Obviously, Putin mentioned it to Trump as well. He hasn't really given us his opinion on it. But it does come on the back of peace talks, perhaps slowly but surely progressing along, if we're to believe what we hear anyway. Both the US and Ukraine describing those talks in Mar-a-Lago yesterday as very positive. We know that one detail to come out of it is that the US has committed to security guarantees of 15 years for Ukraine. Ideally, Zelensky would like those protections extended up to 50 years. What is your assessment of where these talks are now?
Well, again, the whole thing is quite strange. You had the original 28-point plan that looked like it was written by Moscow, but they denied that. So negotiators on both sides, on all sides, including the Europeans, the Ukrainians, the Americans, have been talking endlessly about the 28 points and whittled some of them down. Then you had Zelensky come up with 20 points, and the same process has gone on. And yet Russia is never at the table. There's no Russian spokesman for Putin. Putin is not at the table. He just sits there waiting to see what they offer and shoots it down. So it's a very one-sided, very poorly designed negotiation. Now, all that being said, I have to give Trump full marks for trying. This is a lot of effort and time. But, the fact that he isn't saying to Putin, look, we're stopping everything unless you sit down on the table and get involved here. None of this sneaking around, secret phone calls, whispering things in my ear that I can't repeat. And now this fabrication about one of his 17 palaces getting shot at. I mean, look, it's very easy to look at surveillance, satellite surveillance, and see where this thing, whether it was shot at or not. And by the way, determining whether it was just Russian drones hitting the palace to make this excuse.
So we've not had any footage to back this up. 91 drones attacking the president, the residents in Novgorod. It seems a strange number to make up, Diane. Indeed, I mean, this is Russian state media, but RIA is reporting that Russia's foreign policy advisor Yuri Ushakov said that Trump and Putin had spoken about it. Trump was shocked by the supposed attack, called it insane, and that Kyiv's alleged action would influence Washington's approach to working with Zelensky. I mean, that is what the state broadcaster is saying. Of course, we know we need to be cautious about this, but some of the details here do make people think again. You know, why be so specific about 91 drones?
To make it look plausible. They're very disinformation. That's one of their weapons. Look, there are drones flying around from Russia that are falling down, hundreds, maybe hourly, all across Ukraine, and have done for ages. Tens of thousands of drones, as well as ballistic missiles. I don't know what this is involved in, but now he's claiming that, you know, and he has 17 palaces, maybe not one of the ones he's ever lived in. The point is that, you know, there's no evidence. No one seems to have been injured. And yet he's using that as a pretext to stop negotiating, when if that was a pretext to stop negotiating, Ukraine should never have gotten involved, because they're getting bombarded constantly by the person they're trying to make peace with. I mean, the whole thing is quite bizarre.
Where do you see this going next? What is the next move? We know that Trump and Zelensky have had those face-to-face talks. Trump has maintained his contact with Vladimir Putin on the phone. We know that European leaders are involved and in discussions with Volodymyr Zelensky too. Where does this go next? Will the momentum keep going?
Well, I don't know where it goes next. I don't think it's gone very far so far. You know, we know what the pattern is. The pattern is Trump says he's going to talk to Zelensky. And then he talks to Putin first, and Putin fills him full of all kinds of things, maybe true, maybe not true. And then he confronts Zelensky with it, rather than having a conversation that he mediates between Putin and Zelensky, with seconds on either side and verification every step of the way. There's no verification of this bombing attack. There's plenty of verification that thousands of Ukrainian innocent civilians, women and children, have died because of drone attacks ever since this war began, during the negotiations, by Russia.
Okay.
So, you know, it's really, Trump has got to get hold of it and just say, you know, get to the table. We've got to sort this out. I want you at the table, and I want you now.
Yeah, it does impress upon the situation the need for urgency, doesn't it, if all sorts of accusations are going to start flying around. Diane Francis, good to speak to you. Thank you. Editor-at-large of the National Post and expert on the Russia-Ukraine conflict.